You are holding a blueprint that most people will never decrypt. Not because it's hidden, not because they aren't capable, but because they are still building a bridge that already exists. There exists a field of potential that moves through reality like a silent stream seeking the path of least resistance. A truth that reveals itself only when consciousness reaches the exact point of softness required to perceive it. This isn't wishful thinking dressed up as strategy. This is how your effortless future actually operates, and right now, if you're watching this, something in you has released the tension that brought you here. The ancient ones understood this. They didn't write texts to instruct. They wrote them to disarm. Every ritual, every myth, every seemingly simple teaching contained within their wisdom wasn't about achievement. It was a key. And that key only turned when the seeker's inner mechanism had evolved to match its necessary stillness. What you're about to discover isn't just a collection of ideas, it's a living technology of conscious emergence. A destiny that doesn't exist in future time but in present release. And the fact that you're here right now watching this, that's not random. That's scheduled inevitability. Let me explain what's really happening. The universe doesn't function like a gym where you insert effort and receive muscle. It functions like a radio, constantly broadcasting signals at different resolutions. And what you perceive depends entirely on how much static your own reception is creating. Most people spend their lives trying to force the universe to broadcast on their channel, never realizing that all they need to do is adjust their own interference. You've been taught that finding success is about searching. That breakthroughs come to those who seek hard enough, dig deep enough, push far enough into the unknown. But here's what no one tells you. The greatest creations don't arrive through force. They arrive through finesse. Think about your own life for a moment. Haven't there been moments of clarity that appeared at the exact moment you stopped trying to be clear? Conversations that happened precisely when your soul finally put down a burden it had carried for years? Mentors who materialized just as you were ready to learn what they had to offer? This isn't luck. This is the fundamental operating system of emergence. The universe is not a passive backdrop against which you struggle. It is an intelligent field that responds to your inner softness. And when your awareness reaches a specific state of surrender, when you've lived through enough pushing, released enough control, shed enough old identities, suddenly what you need appears. The new blueprint we're exploring today is called the Map of Certainty, but here's what makes it different from every other success principle you've encountered. It doesn't claim to be found, it claims to find you. Let that land. It doesn't wait to be discovered. It recognizes when your consciousness has reached the threshold where its full power can take root. And then, only then, does it fully reveal itself. This is the first principle of effortless mastery that most people miss entirely. The treasures of existence are not withheld from you. They're waiting for you to become the version of yourself that can witness their arrival. You cannot force readiness. You cannot fake softness. The universe reads the actual texture of your being, not the story you tell yourself about your hustle. If this is landing for you, take a moment to hit the like button. It helps this transmission reach others who are at their burnout threshold. And subscribe to stay connected to this emerging truth. And when that frequency matches what's available, reality self-organizes to deliver exactly what you need. There's something else happening here that most strategy coaches miss entirely. They focus on what you need to do, what tasks you need to master, what levels you need to achieve. But the deepest breakthroughs don't ask you to do anything. They ask you to recognize what's already done. To see with new eyes what's been preloaded all along. Invisible only because you weren't vibrating at the frequency where it becomes necessary. Think of it like this. The hidden blueprint for a lost city exists whether you can see it or not. It's there, whole, certain, but the map is encrypted by your frantic digging. Does that mean it's not real? No. It means your perception hasn't expanded to include it yet. The moment you stop digging and start decrypting the map, suddenly you see a whole dimension of reality that was always there. Consciousness works the same way. There are dimensions of possibility surrounding you right now. Opportunities, connections, insights, resources that are absolutely present but completely invisible to your current state of struggle. Not because they're being withheld, but because your awareness hasn't expanded to include them yet. And the moment it does, reality doesn't change. Your perception of reality changes, which in practical terms means everything changes. Let me take you somewhere. Close your eyes for a moment, actually close them, and imagine you're walking through an immense silent archive, not the kind you've seen in movies, but one that exists in the space between thought and stillness. There's an archaeologist there. She sits behind a massive desk covered with instruments that shimmer with impossible light, compasses that point not to north but to destiny, mirrors that reflect not your current face but your inevitable self, charts woven from the fabric of lost histories that never came true but always mattered. Her name in this telling is Dr. Veda Ray. And she has a problem that defies all logic. She cannot find anything, not because the lost cities don't exist. They do, gloriously. But every time she uses strength, logic, or force to uncover one of her treasures, the coordinates dissolve. Shovels turn to dust. Satellite imagery transforms to vapor. Even the densest stone crumbles into sand the moment it touches her hand. For years, she believes she's failing, that she's the worst digger in all of the Andes, cursed with a map that refuses to be read. Until one evening, something shifts. A traveler approaches, his eyes weary from searching, his hands empty from loss. He doesn't know what he's looking for. He only knows he's been looking for lifetimes. And when his gaze falls on a simple brass sextant that 100 others have tried to locate before him, something extraordinary happens. The sextant begins to pulse not with sound but with certainty. It vibrates with a frequency that only he can feel. And when he lifts it, every cell in his body recognizes what his mind doesn't yet understand. This object has been waiting for him, not for anyone else, for him at this exact moment, after this exact journey. When he gently places it on the table, the brass remains solid in Veda's hand. The sextant has found its fated handler. This is when Veda discovers the truth that changes everything. Her cities were never refusing to be found. They were refusing to be demanded by people who weren't ready for their complexity. Each treasure was encoded with a specific consciousness signature, and it would only materialize, only become real in the fullest sense when someone whose awareness matched that signature arrived. You see, the universe doesn't operate on the economics of struggle. It operates on the physics of inevitability. What you seek is also seeking you, but it's not seeking the you that you pretend to be. It's seeking the you that you're becoming, the you that's lived through enough, transformed enough, softened enough to hold what's about to be given. Here's what this means practically. Every moment of profound change, every insight that's cracked you open, every relationship that's transformed you, none of them were accidents. They were cosmic schedules. Your consciousness sent out a signal, and reality responded with exactly what you needed, precisely when you could receive it. The question isn't whether your future is certain. The question is, are you tuned to the frequency where that certainty can find you? And here's where most people get stuck. They think tuning themselves means working harder, meditating longer, affirming louder. But tuning isn't about addition, it's about subtraction. It's about removing the interference, the beliefs, the fears, the stories about unworthiness that's blocking the signal that's already trying to reach you. Veda's archive exists in your life right now. Every day you walk past scheduled treasures that are waiting for you to become ready for them. Relationships that could transform you, opportunities that could elevate you, insights that could liberate you. They're there, present, real. But you can't see them yet because your consciousness hasn't matched their frequency. The question becomes, how do you raise your frequency? How do you become the person who sees what's invisible to who you are now? Not through force, through finesse, not through striving, through listening, not through seeking more, through releasing what's blocking you from receiving what's already here. Pause here right now. Don't skip this part. What I'm about to share isn't just information, it's de-encryption. And if you let it, it will shift the way reality delivers to you from this moment forward. Tonight, before you sleep, sit in a quiet space. Not to meditate in the traditional sense, not to clear your mind or achieve some perfect state of stillness. Simply to reread the map. Think back over the last month, the last year, the last decade of your life, and identify 3 things, 3 moments, 3 teachings, 3 encounters that appeared at the exact instant you needed them. Not a day earlier when you wouldn't have understood. Not a day later when the window would have closed, but exactly when your soul was ready to receive. Maybe it was an unexpected layoff that forced you onto a path of genius you'd been avoiding. Maybe it was a person who appeared and vanished, but whose 7 words rewrote your entire understanding of yourself. As you recall each one, speak this truth aloud. I recognize the perfect inevitability of all gifts. I trust the wisdom that guides their arrival. I am open to receive what is scheduled for me now. This is an affirmation for the sake of feeling good. This is quantum alignment. You are telling the field of consciousness, I see you. I recognize the intelligence that orchestrates my life, and I am opening myself to receive what's already on its way. When you practice this consistently, something remarkable begins to happen. The universe responds to your awareness. Opportunities that would have passed you by suddenly slow down so you can notice them. Teachers who would have walked past you stop and turn around. The blueprints that would have remained encrypted practically fall into your hands. Why? Because you've become energetically legible to what's seeking you. The surrender gateway isn't just about giving up. It's about tuning your consciousness to the frequency where synchronicity becomes your default reality. Try it tonight and then comment below. Don't just read and move on. Comment with this exact phrase. I am open to receive what is scheduled for me. Now let that be your signal to the field. Your declaration that you're no longer living in the consciousness of striving, but in the consciousness of receiving. When you complete this practice tonight, you'll notice something subtle but profound. You'll start seeing patterns you've been missing. Synchronicities that were always there but invisible to your previous state of urgency. It's not that the universe suddenly starts working for you. It's that you finally start working with the weave. There's a second layer to this practice that deepens everything. Once you've acknowledged the 3 gifts, sit with this question. What was the deepest emotional blockage I released right before each gift appeared? Because here's what you'll discover. Each treasure arrived not randomly, but at the precise moment when your consciousness shifted from one frequency to another. From doubt to certainty, from control to flow, from striving to allowing. That shift is what created the opening. And when you become conscious of this pattern, you gain the ability to create openings intentionally. You stop waiting for life to force you into readiness and start choosing flow as your default state. Now let me take you somewhere else. Somewhere that will show you why effort in its traditional sense might be the very thing preventing what you want from arriving. And it contains a principle that most people spend their entire lives resisting. In the high valleys where the rare cosmic thread is spun, there lived a master weaver named Kai Alani. His loom sang with a sound that travelers claimed they could hear in their dreams days after leaving the valley. But Kai had a secret frustration. For decades, he'd mastered the art of bending the thread to his will, pulling, forcing, shaping through sheer strength and precision. He was known across kingdoms for his ability to dominate the material, to make silk submit to his vision. Until one morning, his needle shattered against a piece of thread that simply would not yield. He tried everything. More tension, different angles, stronger tools. Nothing worked. The thread refused him completely. Exhausted and confused, he collapsed beside his silent loom that night. And in the space between waking and sleep, something happened. He heard the thread speak, not in words, but in feeling, in knowing. Your tension creates resistance. Your surrender reveals my truth. I am not meant to be conquered. I am meant to flow into the weave. When Kai woke, everything changed. He approached the same stubborn thread. But this time, instead of forcing, he listened. He felt for the thread's natural desire to transform. He moved with its rhythm instead of against it. And when he did, when he stopped trying to dominate and started partnering with the material, miracles emerged. Tapestries lighter than feathers but stronger than iron, patterns that didn't just depict reality but restructured it, cloth that deflected fear rather than wind. Word spread. A skeptical prince traveled across empires to demand Kai's secret. "I don't have a secret," Kai said, holding a glowing spool as gently as if it were a sleeping child. "I simply listen to what wants to become, and I help it arrive." Let that land for a moment. How much of your life have you spent trying to force outcomes, pushing against resistance, fighting to make things happen through sheer will and effort? And how often has that forcing created the very obstacles you were trying to overcome? Here's the truth that rewrites everything. Creation doesn't respond to dominance. It responds to harmony. When you stop fighting the universe's current and start flowing with it, you become a channel for power you couldn't access through effort alone. Your desires don't manifest because you conquered them into existence. They manifest because you aligned with the natural unfolding of what's already trying to emerge. This is where most people get stuck. They think mastery is about mental discipline, visualizing hard enough, affirming loud enough, believing strong enough. But real creation, the kind that creates lasting transformation, isn't about force. It's about flow. The universe isn't waiting for you to prove yourself worthy through struggle. It's waiting for you to soften enough to receive what's already yours. This is the secret that every master artist, every true visionary, every person who's created something genuinely extraordinary eventually discovers. You cannot force excellence. You can only create the conditions where excellence naturally emerges. You cannot dominate beauty into existence. You can only align with it so completely that it flows through you without obstruction. Kai's transformation wasn't about learning a new technique. It was about unlearning an old belief. The belief that tension equals power. What he discovered is that true power comes from partnership. From recognizing that you're not separate from the forces you're trying to shape, but part of the same unified field. And when you honor that unity, when you work with the intelligence that's already present in the material, in the moment, in the situation, miracles become normal. This applies to everything in your life, your relationships, your career, your creative projects, your spiritual path. Anytime you're forcing, you're creating resistance. Anytime you're flowing, you're creating possibility. But here's what's subtle about this. Flowing doesn't mean passive. It doesn't mean you stop taking action or making decisions. It means your actions and decisions arise from attunement rather than anxiety, from presence rather than pressure, from trust rather than terror. You can feel the difference in your body when you're forcing. Your jaw is tight. Your breath is shallow. Your shoulders are tense. When you're flowing, there's effort, Sometimes tremendous effort, but it's easeful. It doesn't deplete you, it enlivens you. Here's how you embody this principle right now. Stop reading for a moment. Sit up straight. Place your hands on your knees, palms facing upward. This isn't symbolic, it's energetic. You're physically opening yourself to receive instead of staying closed in effort. Now breathe, but not your normal breathing. Conscious, deliberate breathing. And with each exhale, you're going to release one layer of tension. Inhale slowly. As you do, say internally, I am the universe flowing freely. Exhale completely. As you do, let tension drain from your shoulders, your jaw, your hands. Actually feel it release. Inhale again. I am divine clarity in motion. Exhale. Release resistance from your mind. The tight grip you've been holding on outcomes. The fear that if you don't force things, nothing will happen. Inhale. I am perfect cosmic scheduling. Exhale. Surrender the need to control when and how your life unfolds. Continue this for at least 2 minutes, maybe longer, until you feel something shift inside you. Until you feel lighter, more open, like a master weaver's thread ready to flow into whatever form life has prepared for you. This isn't passivity. This is the most powerful stance you can take. Because when you stop blocking the universe with effort, you allow it to move through you with effortless precision. Take a moment and share in the comments. What's one area of your life where you've been forcing instead of flowing? What would it look like to surrender that struggle and trust the process? Your reflection might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Kai's loom still exists, not in physical space, but in the realm of principle. And every time you choose flow over force, harmony over struggle, you're standing at that loom, letting reality shape you into something more magnificent than you could have designed yourself. What no one tells you about sacred lateness. Let me share something that might challenge everything you believe about how life works. You think you're late. You think you've missed opportunities. You think, if only you'd known this teaching 5 years ago, 10 years ago, everything would be different now. But here's what shifts everything. You are exactly on time. The reason you're watching this now, not last year, not next month, but now, is because this is the precise moment your consciousness can integrate what's being transmitted. If you'd encountered this teaching earlier, you would have intellectually understood it, but you wouldn't have embodied it. The experiences you've lived, the pain you've endured, the confusion you've navigated, all of it was preparing the soil of your awareness for these seeds to take root. The universe doesn't make mistakes with timing. Think about those stories we explored. Veda's map of certainty didn't operate on customer demand. It operated on customer readiness. The brass sextant existed long before the traveler arrived. But it only became real, only activated its full potential when his consciousness matched its frequency. The same is true for you right now. This teaching has existed in various forms for millennia, but it's appearing in your life now because now is when you can do something with it. Now is when your soul has evolved enough to not just hear these words, but to let them restructure your reality. There's a concept in quantum physics called the emergence principle. It states that possibility exists in superposition, all potential states simultaneously, until they're witnessed by a consciousness capable of receiving them, at which point they collapse into one specific reality. Your consciousness works the same way. The breakthroughs you're ready for collapse into your reality the moment you're capable of witnessing them at their deepest level. Not surface understanding, not intellectual agreement, but embodied recognition. You've been walking toward this moment your entire life. Every distraction that didn't quite satisfy you was pointing you here. Every teacher who helped but couldn't complete your journey was preparing you for this. Every moment of confusion, every dark night of the soul, Every time you almost gave up but didn't, it was all part of the navigation system bringing you to this exact frequency. So no, you're not late, you're not behind, you haven't missed anything, you're right on time. And the fact that you feel something stirring in you as you hear this, that's not emotion, that's recognition. Your soul remembering what it's always known but forgot while moving through a world that taught you to doubt cosmic intelligence. Now, what we're exploring today is the recognition principle, understanding that surrender unlocks what's already present. But this is just one thread in a much larger weave. If you're sensing there's more beneath this, you're right. In my book, Beyond the Frequencies, A Quantum Guide to Consciousness Mastery, I walk you through the complete system. The 9 master frequencies that move you from unconscious striving to conscious receiving, from dense tension to pure flow. We go deep into how to dismantle the frequency prison entirely and step into effortless creation as the field itself. It's linked in the pinned comment below. I want to go deeper into this because it's one of the most healing realizations you can have. When you truly grasp that you're not behind, that you haven't missed your window, that the universe hasn't forgotten you, something fundamental shifts in how you move through life. You stop rushing, you stop forcing, you stop living in the anxiety of I should have done this sooner or what if it's too late. Instead, you start trusting the unfolding. You start recognizing that every delay was actually preparation. Every detour was actually protection. Every moment of waiting was actually ripening. Think about fruit. An apple doesn't ripen faster because you're impatient for it. It ripens according to laws you can't control. Sunlight, temperature, time. If you pick it too early, it's sour. If you wait too long, it rots. But if you pick it at exactly the right moment, it's perfect. Your life works the same way. There are teachings you can only absorb at certain stages of development. Opportunities you can only recognize when your awareness has expanded enough. Relationships you can only sustain when your consciousness has matured to hold them. This doesn't mean you sit around doing nothing waiting for the universe to deliver. It means you stay active, engaged, present, but from a place of trust rather than desperation. You take action because you're inspired, not because you're terrified of being left behind. And here's what's magical about this shift. When you stop rushing ahead of your own readiness, when you start trusting your timing, opportunities begin appearing that were completely invisible before. Not because they weren't there, but because you weren't there. Your consciousness wasn't at the frequency where they could register. Now, let's talk about something most spiritual teachers won't tell you because it undermines their entire business model. Before we go there, I want to hear from you. Comment below with one moment in your life when something appeared at exactly the right time. When the universe's timing was undeniable. When you share these stories, you're not just reflecting, you're activating that same recognition for others and strengthening the pattern in your own field. Most spiritual paths tell you to seek, to search, to journey far and wide looking for truth. And there's value in that. Movement creates momentum. Questions open doors. Exploration expands awareness. But there's a shadow side to seeking that no one talks about. When you're always searching for the next teaching, the next breakthrough, the next level of consciousness, you're operating from a frequency of lack. You're telling the universe, what I have isn't enough. Where I am isn't enough. Who I am isn't enough. And the universe, being the perfect mirror that it is, responds by giving you more to seek. The cosmic archive doesn't open its deepest treasures to those who are desperately searching. It opens to those who have become still enough to receive. This is the paradox at the heart of all transformation. You can't find what you're looking for by looking. You find it by becoming the person who no longer needs to look because they've recognized that everything they sought was already within them. Veda's treasures didn't reveal themselves to the seekers who came demanding, grasping, trying to acquire. They revealed themselves to those who had searched long enough to finally stop searching, who had journeyed far enough to realize the journey was always internal. The traveler who received the brass sextant, his searching was complete not because he found the object, but because his consciousness had evolved beyond the frequency of seeking into the frequency of recognition. Can you feel the difference? Seeking is external. Recognition is internal. Seeking says, I need something I don't have. Recognition says, I am ready to see what's already here. This doesn't mean you stop growing. It doesn't mean you stop learning. It means you shift from the energy of chasing to the energy of unfolding, from the vibration of lack to the vibration of readiness. And that shift, that subtle but profound recalibration of your energetic stance, changes everything. There's a teaching from the Zen tradition that captures this perfectly. A student approaches a master and asks, "How long will it take me to achieve effortless mastery?" The master responds, 10 years. The student, eager and ambitious, says, "But what if I work twice as hard?" The master replies, "Then 20 years. Do you see what's being revealed here? The harder you seek, the further away you move from what you're seeking. Because seeking itself creates separation. It reinforces the belief that what you want is somewhere else, sometime else, someone else. But recognition dissolves that separation. It reveals that what you've been seeking was never absent. You were just looking past it, through it, beyond it, convinced the truth must be more complicated, more distant, more difficult to access than it actually is. This is the great cosmic joke. The treasure you've been searching for across continents and decades has been in your own backyard the entire time. Not metaphorically, literally. It's been in your awareness, your presence, your simple capacity to see what is rather than what you think should be. And the moment you stop seeking and start seeing, everything you need begins revealing itself. Not because it's finally arriving, but because you finally arrived at the consciousness that can receive it. Let me show you what's really encoded in these ancient stories. When the text speaks of archaeologists and weavers, when it describes impossible objects and mystical transformations, it's not asking you to believe in magic. It's asking you to recognize the magic that's already operating in your life, invisible only because you've been trained not to see it. Every person you've ever met was either a teacher or a student, often both simultaneously. Every challenge you faced was either a prison or a classroom, depending on how you chose to perceive it. Every moment of your existence has been a cosmic transaction with the universe offering you exactly what you needed to evolve, and you either accepting or refusing based on your level of readiness. The archive isn't somewhere else. It's here. It's now. It's the field of possibility that surrounds you in every moment. And you are both Veda and the traveler. You are both the archaeologist with encrypted maps and the seeker finally ready to receive them. Part of you holds treasures you don't yet know how to access, gifts that are waiting for the rest of you to catch up. Potential that's been dormant not because it's unavailable, but because you haven't yet become the consciousness that can activate it. And another part of you is walking through the archive right now. Eyes opening to what's always been available, hands finally empty enough to receive instead of grasp. This is the teaching beneath the teaching. You are not separate from the universe distributing wisdom. You are the universe in human form, remembering itself through your experiences, waking itself up through your awareness. The blueprint that appears when you're ready isn't out there. It's in here, written in the language of your own becoming. And every time you choose awareness over unconsciousness, presence over distraction, surrender over force, you're reading another page. Why most people never receive what's available. Let's get uncomfortably honest for a moment. Most people will watch this video and feel inspired. They'll nod along, maybe even get emotional, sense something profound moving in them, and then they'll click away, return to their regular programming, and within days, forget this ever happened. Why? Because receiving requires more than interest. It requires integration, and integration requires you to actually change, not just intellectually agree with the idea of change, but to rewire your daily behaviors, your automatic reactions, your unconscious patterns. The universe is infinitely abundant. It's offering you everything all the time. But you can only receive what your current identity has space to hold. If your identity is built around struggle, you'll unconsciously reject ease when it appears. If your identity is built around unworthiness, you'll sabotage gifts before you fully receive them. If your identity is built around seeking, you'll look past what's right in front of you, convinced the real treasure must be somewhere else. This is why the teaching emphasizes softness over effort. You can't force yourself ready. You can't fake it. Your nervous system knows the truth. Your energy field broadcasts your actual state, not your desired state. And the universe responds to what you are, not what you claim to be. So how do you become ready? Not by adding more practices, more knowledge, more spiritual credentials. By releasing what's blocking your readiness. By identifying the beliefs, stories, and identities that keep you vibrating at a frequency where the deepest gifts can't reach you. For some of you, it's the belief that you have to earn love, success, wisdom through suffering. For others, it's the story that you're fundamentally broken and need fixing. For others still, it's the identity of being behind, late, not enough. These aren't just thoughts. They're energetic barriers, and until you dismantle them, you'll keep encountering the same lessons in different forms, wondering why the universe isn't delivering what you've been asking for. It is delivering, you're just not receiving, the practice of active receiving. Right now, I want you to do something that might feel strange. Say out loud, I am open. Don't qualify it. Don't add, I'm open for love, or I'm open for abundance, or I'm open when the time is right. Just I am open. Feel what happens in your body when you say that. Notice if there's resistance. Notice if your mind immediately jumps in with reasons why you're not actually open. Notice if fear arises, or doubt, or a sense of unworthiness. That noticing, that awareness of what blocks your readiness is the first step toward clearing it. Now say it again. But this time, as you speak the words, consciously release one thing that's been keeping you in a state of unreadiness. Maybe it's a grudge you've been holding. Maybe it's a failure you've been replaying. Maybe it's a version of yourself you've been trying to force into existence instead of allowing to emerge. I am open. Release. I am open. Release. Do this until you feel a shift. Until the words stop feeling like a lie and start feeling like recognition. Like your soul has been waiting for your mind to catch up. And now finally they're meeting in the same moment. This is active receiving, not passively hoping the universe will drop something in your lap, but actively creating the internal conditions where what's seeking you can finally land. And here's what I want you to understand. The moment you genuinely embody this frequency, reality reorganizes around you. Not eventually, immediately. Opportunities appear, conversations shift. People who resonate with your new vibration enter your field. Circumstances align in ways that would seem impossible from your previous state of consciousness. Why? Because you've stopped broadcasting lack and started broadcasting openness, and the universe responds to what you broadcast with perfect precision. The collective field of openness. Take a moment right now and comment below with one single word. Just one word that captures the energy you're choosing to embody from this point forward. Not what you hope to feel, not what you think sounds spiritual, but the actual energetic signature you're committing to. Maybe it's flow, maybe it's trust, maybe it's certainty or witnessing. Whatever word rises in you, That's your declaration to the quantum field, your signal that you're no longer the person who started watching this video. You've shifted. And that shift, though it might seem small, is actually seismic at the level of consciousness. Here's why this matters more than you realize. When you make a public declaration, when you put energy behind your intention by naming it in community, you're not just speaking to yourself, you're speaking to the collective field. And the collective field holds you accountable in ways your private thoughts never can. There are hundreds, maybe thousands of people watching this right now. Each of you at your own stage of readiness, each of you carrying your own frequency. But when you all make a declaration together, when you all drop a word into the comments that signals your new energetic stance, you create a collective resonance. And that collective resonance amplifies what's possible for everyone in it. This is how movements begin. Not with leaders telling followers what to do, but with groups of individuals simultaneously choosing a new frequency and supporting each other in maintaining it. So don't skip this. Don't watch passively. Drop your word. Make your declaration. Join the field of those who are no longer seeking because they've recognized they're ready to receive. And if what you've heard today is touching something deep in you, if you feel a resonance that goes beyond intellectual agreement, then I invite you to subscribe, not just to this channel, but to this frequency, to this space where consciousness and practical transformation meet, to this community of people who are waking up together, supporting each other and staying coherent, staying aligned, staying elevated. Because here's the final truth. The more of us who embody this, the more the world reflects that truth back to us. We're not just individual seekers anymore. We're a collective force. And every person who shifts from seeking to receiving, from force to flow, from lack to readiness, they make it easier for the next person to do the same. This is how reality changes. One consciousness at a time, one declaration at a time, one moment of openness at a time. So here's my final invitation to you. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for some external authority to tell you that now, finally you're ready. You're ready now. You've always been ready. You just needed to remember. The archive is open, the loom is humming, the brass sextant is pulsing with recognition, and the universe is watching, not to judge, but to witness the moment you stop seeking and start receiving. Everything you've ever wanted is waiting for you to become the person who no longer needs to want it. Let that be your new frequency. Let that be your declaration. Let that be the truth you carry forward from this moment on. You are ready. The universe knows it. And now, so do you. This moment right here, this is the threshold. Not between who you were and who you'll become, but between the version of you that fears openness and the version that embodies it. Both exist simultaneously. Both are available right now. The only question is which one you're going to feed your attention, your energy, your belief. Because here's the final truth that nobody tells you. The universe isn't testing your readiness to see if you're worthy. It's responding to your readiness because that's how the system works. Consciousness recognizes consciousness. Frequency attracts frequency. And the moment you stop performing readiness and start being it, everything you've been preparing for begins flowing toward you. Not in some distant future. Now, in the decisions you make today, in the way you show up for yourself tonight, in the lens through which you interpret tomorrow's challenges and opportunities. The blueprint has appeared. The teaching has found you. The cosmic archive has opened its doors, and you're standing at the threshold with everything you need to walk through. The only question left is, will you? Will you choose the frequency of openness over the comfort of familiar limitation? Will you trust that what's seeking you is worth surrendering the identity you've been clinging to? Will you let yourself be transformed by the very teaching you've been asking for? If the answer is yes, and I sense that it is, otherwise you wouldn't still be here, then your entire life is about to reflect that yes back to you in ways that will leave you breathless. Not because the universe rewards belief, but because the universe is you. And when you shift, it shifts. When you open, it opens. When you say yes to readiness, reality says yes to possibility. This is the teaching beneath all teachings. The secret hidden in plain sight, the treasure that was never lost, only waiting for you to recognize it. You are ready. You've always been ready. And everything that happens from this moment forward will prove that truth to you again and again in ways both subtle and extraordinary. Welcome home. Now, if you've truly grasped what openness means, you need to understand what happens next. Because there's a collapse coming, and it's not what you think. The moment you step into this new frequency, your old identity begins to disintegrate. Not as punishment, but as necessity. You can't hold new consciousness in old containers. That's why I created the video. The moment you watch this, your old self begins to collapse. It shows you exactly how to navigate this transition, what to expect as the old structures fall away, and how to stay grounded as you become something entirely new. Watch it next.